If you're like 46% of the other millennials in the world, you're probably underemployed. Here's how you get out of it. Welcome back to my channel, the best place for ambitious millennial professionals who feel stuck in their careers to gain career clarity and build their dream careers. In my previous videos on underemployment, I covered what it is, why it exists, and the risks you face when being underemployed. Definitely go back and check them out if you're not sure what underemployment is, because this video is kind of like a wrap up of this whole underemployment series, and I'll put it in the cards above the whole playlist, right? So you can definitely go and check it out. In this video, I'm going to share with you 4 ways to stop underemployment. Be sure to stick around for the 3rd and 4th tips, because that is essentially the keys between success and failure in terms of getting out of underemployment. And make sure to subscribe and click the bell to receive regular updates on all things related to bringing a positive change to your career. Hi, I'm Dr. John Tam, and I'm passionate about helping ambitious millennial professionals build their dream careers. So without further ado, here's how you stop the terrible effects of underemployment in your life. The first step is to gain internal clarity. And internal clarity has 2 parts. The first part of internal clarity is self-awareness. And you essentially need to dive into your subconsciousness to really tease out what is it that you really desire. And there are many ways of doing that. There's meditation exercises, there's guided journaling, there's therapy. There's a lot of things that helps you enter a state of relaxation and really articulate what is it that you really want. Sometimes all you need is 2 weeks by yourself with no devices, no one around you, and just quietness and, disconnect from the rest of the world to really find out that inner voice of what you really want. The other part of self-awareness is understanding your personality. And one of the things that you can do is take a free personality test, which I have in the description below. And it's essentially based on Big 5 personality traits. And what a good personality test does, which is what the Big 5 personality traits is, it's a great test because it's reliable and valid, unlike other tests that are out there. But what you can do is essentially know what a person with your personality typically would enjoy. Now, that's typically, right? Personality tests are not a crystal ball to tell you that you're an architect or you are a designer, you're an artist. It's not prescribing things for you. The best personality tests tell you who you are relative to everyone else around you. And it also serves as a heuristic, as a thinking tool for you to reflect and to really think about, okay, what should I do next? Because at the end of the day, the personality test is just one of the many variables that's involved in the whole career pursuit process, right? There's also the values that you have. There's also your skills that you've really built over time. There's also your interests. There's also your passion. And if you're not sure what your passion is, definitely check out the video where I talk about where is your passion and how do you find it. Now, the second part of internal clarity is setting a target to move towards, because that's where a lot of people get hung up on. A lot of people do journaling and then they do their personality tests, but afterwards it's so what, right? Well, the reason why it's a so what, it's because there's really no clear target on where you should move towards. When you have a goal, you would start planning to move towards it. There's directionality in your motivation, right? Even if you have the clarity and you have the motivation and the drive, you need a direction. And so when you have a target, when you have a goal, you set a direction and you move towards it. This is after gaining the clarity, of course. And when you're advancing in a direction, as long as you're moving forward, there is momentum. You may be slightly off in a direction. It may be you should be a little bit 3 degrees more to the right or whatever, but essentially you're heading to the right direction. And most oftentimes, moving forward is definitely better than staying put. Because if you stay put, all you do is wonder and you enter this kind of situation where it's paralysis by analysis. What should I do next? What should I do next? I'm terrified. I don't dare to take a step forward. And therefore you're stuck there. And before you know it, it's 10 years down the road and it's not as easy to pivot anymore. And so that's why it's so important to set that goal and to start moving towards it. And if you're interested in learning how to set a target, then I would highly recommend you to download my free guide in the details below, which I break down how to set a good target for your career. Now, the second tip that I have is to conduct your research. After you set a target, you basically need to understand how you can get into the target, right? And that's where really the rubber hits the road. Because at the end of the day, the target is only an idea, an ideal destination. And it's not until you actually do the research that the steps on how to actually get there start to materialize. And so you need to do your research. You need to look up job sites like ONET or Career One Stop to learn about the different career paths and what it entails and so on. And if you need more information, right, there's a lot of stuff that you can Google. And it's always good to get information from people who've actually lived the experience, right, who've actually worked in that line of work, and they're able to tell you the little details and the nuances of the work. So what you'll need to do is you need to conduct informational interviews for the purpose of career exploration. And I have a whole playlist on this in the cards above. But essentially what you need to do is you need to find people on LinkedIn, on Twitter, at the sites that you're interested in the companies that you're interested in, to interview, to have conversations with. And a pro tip that I have to offer is to actually look up associations and professional organizations. These places have a lot of resources and networks that you can readily access that could really inform your decision on how to move forward. And you need to chat with your immediate network. And when you tap into these networks, you need to share with them your career target, because people can't help you if they don't know what you want. And when you break it down, at the end of the day, there's actually only 5 types of career transitions that's possible. And I'll put those 5 in the cards above so that you can definitely look it up. Have you conducted career research? What other resources do you have? Let me know in the comments below. The third tip that I have is going to make all the difference, and it's committing to your target. If you've conducted your research and you've done your due diligence, there really should be no surprises that's going to be sprung on you on what you should be doing for your next move. So for example, if you've got a skills gap, you just got to close it. If you've got a qualifications gap, you just got to get that qualification. If you've got an experience gap, you've just got to build it, either through volunteering, through side hustles, adjusting your current work to fit you. There's a lot of ways to build that experience. And sometimes it may just be a simple execution tweak, right? You may be fully qualified in terms of skills, qualifications, and experience, but you just may need some tweaks in terms of your marketing message on your resume, or how to do better in your interviews, or how to network into your job, and so on. But essentially, whatever you set your target as long as you've conducted the research, the main thing is you just gotta commit to it and give it a real shot. A lot of people talk the talk, but don't walk the walk. And my question for you is, are you one of those people? Because it's difficult to resent the fact that you're underemployed if all you've done is dabble at getting yourself into a better position. You need to give your target a real chance. You need to give it time. You need to give it resources, and you need to spend energy on it. And you really need to give it structure, whether it's going to school or taking a course online, or it's embedding yourself into a community of people. Or one of the best things that I like to recommend people is to set an accountability partner with an individual or with a group of people. And essentially, if you're a self-starter, these tips alone should be able to get you to make this transition out of underemployment. My fourth and final tip is to consider working with a career coach. And the whole rationale behind working with coaches is quite straightforward. If you invest in coaching, what's going to happen is that you're going to pay extra attention and you're going to actually go do the work. It's like when you pay for a fitness trainer, you will actually go and show up even though your body is like breaking apart and you don't want to do sit-ups that day, but you will still show up. The coaches cannot do the sit-ups for you, but what they can do is hold you accountable and give you structure so that you can greatly increase your chance of success. If you're an ambitious millennial professional who's at a career crossroads and you want career clarity, I'm your guy, because I can dive into the psychology, I can dive into the personality, I can dive into the subconscious, and help you really figure out that plan. But if you want to find like resume tricks or how to hack the interview or so on, there are other people that you can look up, right? You're not going to find a lot of resume videos on this channel for that reason, because it's not exactly my zone of genius as well. I can play starter minutes on it, but career clarity and personality psychology is really where I shine. So essentially, when I say find a career coach, you need to find someone that's in your right niche. You want to find a coach who has a system, because random efforts mean random results. You can check out the coaching directory sites like newme.com. And in the details below, I have several resources that can really help you. You can take a free, quick, and accurate career personality test that really breaks down what types of work is suited for your personality. You can also download my guide on how to find your dream career. You can also check out my free training on how to find your dream career, and it's all in the details below. Make sure to join my Facebook group, Career Change Advice, to be in a community of people who are interested in making their careers work for them rather than the other way around. And did you notice this whole time that I didn't mention that going to grad school is a must? I have a good reason for that. In my next video, I'm going to tackle the question on whether you should go to grad school and how to avoid the risks of overeducation, and overqualification. So make sure you subscribe and click the bell for updates for when this video comes out. If you like this video, give it a like and share it with your network if you found this to be valuable. Take care.